This is Advanced Math, Unit 8, Lesson 4. And this lesson is titled The Difference Quotient. Difference quotient, which is something you will definitely be doing when you get into calculus. All right, first part is review of stuff you did last year. Find, and I'm going to start over. Before I ask you to find, I'm going to give you some given information. Given f of x equals 5x minus 2. Given f of x equals 5x minus 2, find 3 f of a and f of x plus h. Alright, so you learned how to do this last year, how to evaluate plugging in the 3 for all the x's. What I like to do is just do 5 blank minus 2. 5 blank minus 2, 5 blank minus 2. And that's where the x's used to be, these blanks. Do you see that? 5x or blank minus 2, and again 5x minus 2 and 5x minus 2. And I just put blanks in there because I'm going to plug in whatever they're asking me. So for here I'm going to plug in the 3. For this one I'm going to plug in the a, and this one I'm going to plug in the x plus h. And after you do that, it's just order of operation. I do 5 times 3 first, 15 take away 2 equals 13, and you are done with that problem. This one you do 5 times a first, so you have 5a minus 2. There are no like terms at that point. This one there were, this one there's not, so 5a minus 2 is your final answer. This one, I'm hoping you recognize that there's nothing you can do other than distribute. So you have 5x plus 5h, take away 2. And at that point you look for like terms, none exist, so this is your final answer. 5x plus 5h minus 2. This is the kind of stuff we're going to be dealing with in the difference quotient. Alright, so let's write that down. Find the difference quotient. And this is on the test, by the way. Find the difference quotient and simplify. I say that because this is one that kids tend to mess up on, so you want to make sure you come ready with questions in class and ready to go through and understand how to do these. All right, number 1, f of x equals, we're going to do that same one, 5x minus 2, the same one we had up at the top, comma, and we're going to use f of x plus h minus f of x all over h such that h does not equal 0. Alright, so they will always give this to you. They'll give you the function. You don't have to memorize what the difference quotient looks like. This is the difference quotient right here. There's the difference symbol. Quotient means a division, fraction. Difference quotient. They'll always give this to you. Sometimes instead of x they put a's. They may change this a little bit, but this will always be given to you. All right, so here is what we are going to do. I'm going to make my big fraction. My h is in the denominator, and my f of x plus h, I'm just going to kind of chunk it up to keep things organized. So this right here is going to be, I'm going to put really light, f of x plus h section, and this here is going to be my f of x function. Okay, so in this box here, I'm just going to take my 5x minus 2 and plug in x plus h. I'm going to take the x plus h and plug it in for the x, and I think that's where kids often get stuck, like am I plugging this in here or this in there, or how is it working? I'm using this big fraction, that's what I'm doing, and then I'm taking my f of x function and I'm using it right here in these two, plugging in different things. This one here I'm plugging in x plus h, this one here I'm plugging in x. All right, so this piece should end up being just what we did up here, f of x plus h. So 5 blank minus 2, and in the blank I'm going to put the x plus h. This one here, 5 blank minus 2, I'm just going to, into the blank, put the x, which really is f of x, the original function. F of x is 5x minus 2. I really didn't change anything. All right, distribute just like we did up here. That gives you 5x plus 5h, take away 2. And then distribute your negative, because technically there are parentheses there that you have to distribute, minus 5x plus 2 all over h. And at this point, you combine like terms, simplify, and reduce. And it should always reduce. If it doesn't, maybe you've made a mistake somewhere in a previous step. Okay, 5x and negative 5x cross out. Negative 2 and positive 2 cross out. And that leaves me with just the 5h at the top and 1h at the bottom. Do you guys see that? Crossed out, 5h over h, reduce, 5 is my final answer. And yes, you will be expected to know how to do this, so you want to make sure you get the practice. Okay, number 2. F of x equals x squared minus x minus 4, comma, f of 2 plus h minus f of 2 all over h, such that h does not equal 0. So again, it's always going to look like this. They'll give you the function, they'll give you your difference quotient. It will change at times. This does look a little different from this one here. This is typically how it looks, but sometimes it does change. But they'll always give this to you. You don't have to memorize that. It's just a matter of plugging things in. All right. So this first one is the f of 2 plus h, and the second one is f of 2. So I'm going to take this function right here, and all the x's I'm going to put 2 plus h, and then over here in all the x's I'm going to put in its place a 2. So I like to do what I said earlier and just put in blanks. Blank squared minus blank minus 4. Do you see how that worked? Blank squared minus blank minus 4. And over here I'm going to do the same thing. Blank squared minus blank minus 4. So all I'm doing right here is just setting up what I call the skeleton of my function. X squared minus x minus 4, x squared minus x minus 4. I just took out the x's and put blanks. In this first one, I'm going to put the 2 plus h, and in this one over here, I'm putting in a 2. All right. Recognize that this is a double distribution or FOIL problem, 2 plus h times 2 plus h. I will have to distribute the negative there and then minus the 4. And then subtract. 2 squared is 4, minus 2 minus 4, close parentheses, all over h. Okay, all I did was wrote that twice so I can double distribute. That stayed the same, that stayed the same. And over here I just evaluate 2 squared is 4. All right, 4 plus 4h, I got that from 2h and 2h, plus h squared. All right, minus 2 minus h minus 4. Minus 2 minus h minus 4. Now this piece you can combine like terms and then distribute, or distribute and then combine like terms. It's totally up to you. I'm just going to distribute. Negative 4 plus 2 plus 4. Negative 4 plus 2 plus 4. All right, all over h. And let's see what's going to happen. I have a positive 4 and I have a negative 4 somewhere right there. That is going to cross out. And it looks like I have a -2 and a +2 that's also going to cross out, leaving me with, let's see, oh, one more set right here. Do you guys see that? That crosses out. -4 and +4 also crosses out. All right, so like I said, when you simplify, a lot of things should simplify and eventually you should be able to reduce. Okay, so I have this last like term here, +4h and -h, which is +3h. 4h, take away 1h is 3h, plus h squared all over h. And as you can see, we can factor 3 plus h once you take out the GCF of h over h. And as I said earlier, it should always reduce, leaving you with 3 plus h, or h plus 3. All right, really quick side note. This is your answer. Really quick side note. Let's just say, don't write this on your paper, you're just paying attention. Let's say there was a 3 here as a coefficient. Right here, when you would do your double distribution first. You would do your double distribution first, and then after all that, you would distribute your 3. So right here, you would have distributed the 3 if there was a coefficient. I'm going to erase that, so don't write it down. If there were a 3 in the front, you would FOIL first and then distribute your 3 after you FOILed. All right, so again, if there's a coefficient in front of the x squared, you do exactly what we did here. You do your double distribution first and then distribute. Same thing here. If there was a -2 or -5, you would distribute your -5. All right, that is it for this lesson.